Hello, welcome to another GoldMine 101, our regular series of short presentations giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of GoldMine CRM. Today, we're diving deep into the round robin feature. Well, it actually goes under a few different names. We call it a round robin feature of GoldMine. It used to be called group schedule or schedule a series of activities. So this functionality allows admin users, managers to allocate an equal number of calls, for example, to each user across multiple contacts, thereby sort of ensuring a balanced workload over your team. Really, really useful where you've got a group of contacts or you've created a filter of contacts matching some kind of criteria. Maybe it's a telesales exercise, telemarketing exercise, and you need multiple users, multiple people in the team to be scheduled a follow-up activity, yet an equal number of activities per user. Or maybe you've been to an exhibition or a show and you've imported a bunch of leads into your GoldMine system. You need those followed up in an equal way amongst a group of people. So that's this round robin, this group scheduling feature of GoldMine. So hello, I'm Tim Wilmot and my company Wizard Systems. We are a specialist independent CRM solutions provider who help out mainly small and mid-sized organizations improve their sales productivity, marketing and customer service through solutions like GoldMine. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got a question on anything I'm going on about, please pop that into the questions section on your meeting control panel, and I'll do my best to answer that at the end. And also at the end, stick around to the end, I will give you an update on any GoldMine news for you as of mid-July 2024. But brief mention then about Wizard Systems. I know I think quite a few of you on the call right now are familiar with Wizard Systems, but we've been providing GoldMine for a long, long time, well over 3 decades, and we provide any kind of service around GoldMine, upgrades, provide the product, a range of specially selected add-ons as well to extend GoldMine beyond what it does, any kind of training you want, and ongoing support as well. We do actually supply a number of different CRM solutions. Well, not just GoldMine. So we do provide different CRM solutions depending on a client's needs. Okay, let's dive into the group schedule feature, scheduling a series of activities in GoldMine. So let's pop into the GoldMine application here. So a prerequisite of this is, first of all, that you've created a filter or a group of all the contacts that you want a call scheduled across. And you've got in your mind a group of users that you're going to allocate an equal number of calls per user across the number of contacts in that filter or group. Okay, so you might normally be on one of those records relating to that filter or group. It doesn't necessarily matter, but we schedule, and normally the group schedule feature, the series schedule feature, the round robin feature, it would normally, in my experience, would normally relate to a phone call. There are obviously other activity types that you could use this for, but normally it's going to be for a phone call, a follow-up phone call. Right, so the normal scheduler call dialog box comes up. If we just click on this little icon here to change the focus of this call scheduling activity to a filter or a group down here. This is where we are then presented with a little drop-down list of all of the filters and groups that you've got access to, and the most recent ones as well. So you select your filter or group, click OK. Then it would be good practice, of course, to put in some kind of description for the activity. You are you're scheduling a lot of calls, you potentially a lot of calls here. You want to make sure that you're giving your users enough information so that they can prioritize their workload. They can see the nature of this call. It might also be good practice to use the call code as well. Those kind of 3-letter acronyms or 3-letter abbreviations that you can use. Again, that just helps people just see at a glance the types of calls that they've got in their activity list. We may have selected a primary user, not necessary, because we're now going to go to the users tab here. This is where we can select. There always has to be a primary user, but that's our first user, if you like. And then we select the other users in turn here. Maybe 3 other users there. So we've got a primary user and 3 others. So we've got 4 people altogether. Now we're nearly there. Now we click on series. As I say, depending on the version of GoldMine you've got, that's been labeled differently over the years, but we've got series. And the default is that one there, schedule the activity, same time for select contacts. But we want to select this one here. Schedule a series of activities with different times for different contacts. Right, so we can then choose what start date we want these activities to start from. Or maybe we'll let the weekend go by and we'll select, we're at Friday at the moment, we'll select Monday. All right, so we select Monday the 22nd, little tick box on there by default, skip weekends. Obviously untick that if you're working over the weekend period. We've got start time, end time of these scheduled calls as well. And then also an important point here is this one, the maximum number of activities per day. If you've got a large filter or a large group, maybe with many hundreds of contacts, it would be good practice again to think, how many extra calls do you want to give to your users? In this example, this is the default entry. We're going to give these 4 people an extra 25 calls per day. All right. So you can obviously decrease that or increase that as you see fit. We can also select the activity duration as well. And also there's not often used, but there is this wrap up time between each activity. You may, if you are allocating a duration of the call and you think, well, at the end of every phone call, I've got to allow my colleague to type in some information, some notes on how that call went, and then schedule a follow-up call if necessary. Maybe you might need to think about a little bit of wrap-up time if you are kind of planning those sequence of calls through a daily time frame. So there is that option there, but in my experience, rarely used. But that's the main one there. Maximum activities per day. All right. So start date, maximum activities per day. You click on schedule, and that's it. It's done. That's all that's required. So just to recap, you've got to make sure you schedule this to a group of contacts or a filter. You've selected your users, and then consider on this series tab there the actual start date and the maximum number of activities per day. That is the best way of using that series activity, this round robin activity. It won't work in some other ways that you schedule activities. For example, here, if I went up to schedule, call, and click on series here, I don't have the ability to click on that radio button. So you've got to remember to select that filter group from there. Don't activate a group or filter first before scheduling activity. It won't work. Okay. So there you are. Have fun with that. Very useful in those certain situations where you've got a group of contacts, it's some sort of marketing exercise, telesales exercise, following up maybe an exhibition, or you've just imported some new contacts into your GoldMine system. You want those followed up by a group of users. So if you've got any questions before I give you an update on GoldMine news for you, if you've got any questions about this. I can see there's one or two questions have come in already. So Gemma is asking, can I customize the time between calls for different contacts within the same series? For example, schedule follow-ups every 2 days for hot leads, but every 5 days for cooler prospects. Only if you split them into separate filters, the 2 days, sorry, the hot leads and the cooler leads, or something that we're not covering here. There's a feature of GoldMine called automated processes, and that's where you can build a little bit of intelligence into GoldMine, so that you could have a part of the automated process to evaluate, to check on whether the contact record is a hot lead or a cooler prospect, and it would then branch off and schedule a call for 2 days time or 5 days time. So yeah, there are a couple of ways of doing that, Gemma. Next question from Annette. Is it possible to integrate this feature with our email marketing campaigns? I'd like to automatically schedule calls based on how contacts interact with our emails. Okay, so there are two mailing platforms that integrate with GoldMine. There's Constant Contact, and also there's IntelliClick. IntelliClick is the more sophisticated solution, and definitely you could do that with IntelliClick. It's a standard thing that it does to have that kind of sequence of actions as well. So depending on the interaction that you're looking for, those responses with IntelliClick, when you send out a load of emails to customers, GoldMine or IntelliClick actually updates GoldMine. It puts back into GoldMine the response of that contact. Because that response has gone into GoldMine, we could then schedule a call based on that information. So you can be a lot more proactive if you're doing that sort of thing. As standard GoldMine, no, it automated processes. So what you're talking about here is some kind of automation, but the automation will only work on if the data is physically in the GoldMine database somewhere. And yeah, unless the email marketing is connected with GoldMine in some way, it just won't work. Right, Gemma again, if one of those users can't do the calls, how can I reallocate to another user? Well, you would use another feature of GoldMine called rollover or auto update. It's in the activity list. So you would go to the activity list of that user that can't do the calls, and you would see row by row a big long list of phone calls that they can't do. You can then right click there, and I think it's under options, and you just need to familiarize yourself with either a rollover or an auto update to do something en masse with all of those calls, typically well, you could either remove them and then reschedule, or if you did have another user, you could then just use, I reckon it'd be the rollover. Use a rollover feature to roll over to another user. Right, well, thanks. Don't think there's any more questions. Thanks very much, the two of you, for those. Latest news for you then, as of mid-July 2024, we've had the latest release in the last few days made available. This is 2024.3. Some compatibility fixes there for you. Latest information about this, what's included, is on our GoldMine blog. You've got to have a maintenance contract to be able to access these updates. So please contact us if you don't have an annual maintenance contract for GoldMine. Do you fancy a review of your GoldMine system? Has it been some time since we have reviewed how you use GoldMine and come up with some recommendations for improvement there. This is free to our customers, so please contact us for information on that, where via an online call we really review how you're using GoldMine and hopefully come up with some improvements for better use of GoldMine within your organization. So thanks very much those of you on here live for the round robin or group schedule or series, scheduling a series of activities in GoldMine, a great time-saving feature to allocate a bunch of calls to a group of users, thereby achieving a better work balance and workload in your team. We'll catch up with you soon on the next GoldMine topic. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.